Good afternoon, everyone. In today's video, we're continuing to track a major winter storm bringing a bunch of snowfall across the United States with an addition of a extreme crippling ice storm. We're starting off the video with the latest GFS run. We currently actually have some rainfall starting, and this is the first system that's going to be moving through the Midwest and Northeast. Let's go ahead and move forward here throughout the day, where this rainfall continues in portions of around Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, even reaching into Michigan, where you're seeing some of that rainfall, possibly some small thunderstorms down there in Louisiana. Let's move forward into around 6 p.m. when that snowfall is really starting up there in portions of Illinois, Missouri, and Kansas. We're also seeing some snowfall in the Rocky Mountains in Colorado, Idaho, and Montana. We're going to move forward even more into around 9 p.m. That snowfall is definitely really falling over there in Kansas, Missouri, and Illinois. Now starting in portions of Michigan, and that yet continues overnight here. This is going to be 12 a.m. of Wednesday, and that snowfall yet continues overnight. It hardly moves over the next 3 hours. And as you can see, that snowfall is just stalling, and it's continuing to extend over 9 different states. This is going to be 6 a.m. of Wednesday, and we have extremely heavy snowfall over there in Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana. As that continues, we get a new system forming. You can see the low pressure system down there in Mexico. That starts over here, and as you can see, that system is finally exiting the Missouri area, still going on in Illinois and Indiana by 12 p.m. of Wednesday. Let's move forward into around 3 p.m. of Wednesday, and that snowfall yet continues in Indiana and Ohio, Michigan, as well as that starts to move into portions of New England. We get a new, pretty much a brand new system here. As you can see, that split right there. That's really starting to bring some ice to Texas and some snow to the northwestern portions of Texas, and Oklahoma is pretty much seeing snow or ice at this point around 9 p.m. of Wednesday. Let's go to 12 a.m. of Thursday, and that snowfall is really starting here in portions of Missouri, Arkansas, Kansas is seeing a little bit of that snowfall. Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico is also seeing some heavy snowfall there in the mountains. As you can see, we're going to move forward here, and it looks to be Texas is going to see quite the crippling ice storm, especially Dallas is going to see quite the crippling ice storm from this. And that snowfall extending from New Mexico all the way up there to portions of Vermont. That is 1,000 or over 1,000 miles of snow. That is pretty insane. Let's move forward here, and this new GFS run with this new system, with this secondary system, it actually goes a little bit more south. So portions of northern Missouri, northern Illinois is not going to see any more snowfall from the secondary system according to the GFS model. This, of course, may change over the next 24 hours or so, but according to the GFS model, portions of northern Illinois, northern Missouri, northern Indiana is not going to see any more snowfall from the secondary system. So just FYI. Let's move forward here, and as this approaches portions of the Ohio Valley, or pretty much starts impacting the Ohio Valley in around 12 p.m. or lunchtime hours of Thursday. And we're going to move forward into the early afternoon, where that heavy snowfall is starting over here in portions of Ohio. Indiana is seeing some extremely heavy snowfall over there. Oklahoma, Texas is still seeing some of that snowfall as this starts to enter the New England portion of the United States. And this continues here with the crippling ice storm in around 9 p.m. of Thursday. As you head into Friday, 12 a.m., we're starting to see that heavy snowfall in pretty much the entire area of New England. And as we move forward here, it looks like New York City may see some of that ice as well, according to the GFS model. This is going to be 9 a.m. of Friday, and this is finally looks like it's going to be exiting throughout Friday, as this will be around 3 p.m. Still seeing a little bit of stuff over here in portions of the Mid-Atlantic, but mainly the main system has exited the area by then. Here's the total accumulated snowfall from the GFS model. We're also looking at the Euro model and the NAM model. So let's go ahead and move forward here. As you can see, this is the GFS model, of course. Let's start off here in Texas, where you're going to see upwards of a foot of snowfall in these pink colors. Over here in these blues, that's where you're going to see upwards of 2 to 4 inches of snowfall. Oklahoma is mainly going to see upwards of a foot of snowfall in these pinks, But again, in those blues, that's where you're going to see 2 to 4 inches of snowfall. Over here in northwestern Arkansas, that's where you could also see upwards of 10 inches. Also in those blues, again, 2 to 4 inches are likely. And once you get over here in portions of Missouri, this is where you could see upwards of 20 inches of snowfall in those more reddish pinks colors. And you're also going to see ice on top of this. If you do live in this type of region, you're going to see both snow and ice. But mainly these areas are going to see the most crippling ice storms. So that's a very large area that I have highlighted. That is going to see upwards of 1 inch of ice, which is extremely dangerous, and it's going to cause a lot of power outages across these multiple states, which include Texas, portions of southeastern Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky is going to see ice, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland is also going to see ice, Virginia is also going to see ice, portions of southeastern Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri is going to see ice as well. So a lot of these states are going to see ice. Some you will see minimal ice, but some you will see a very devastating ice storm in this entire region. So make sure you are prepared for this. Make sure you do charge up power banks, stock up on some food maybe for a couple days, to definitely not head out on the road for at least 2 or 3 days. It's going to be quite the devastating ice here in some of these areas like Texas. These areas do not have that many salt trucks. These areas do not have many plow trucks, because usually these winter storms don't reach down south this far. They definitely do reach down over here in the panhandle of Texas, but not this far. So especially over here in Dallas, you don't usually see snowstorms. Like you did see a huge snowstorm and a huge cold snap in it was either 2020 or early 2021. But again, this is happening once again here in portions of Texas, not super far south down here, but definitely over here in this type of area. This is where you're going to see pretty big impacts, especially for ice. So definitely make sure you are prepared for this upcoming ice storm. Again, in this area, this is where you're going to see a very devastating ice storm, a lot of power outages, a lot of horrible road conditions. Again, 1 inch of ice is enough to definitely knock down power lines. So recovery efforts are going to be probably over a week. So definitely, again, be prepared for this. We're going to look at more snowfall totals, and then we're going to look at those ice accumulations, so you know how much impact you're actually going to see. According to the European model, this is a little bit more weaker, but you're still seeing upwards of 15 inches of snowfall in this type of region here. These more pink spots, again, you're going to see upwards of 8 to 10 inches of snowfall according to the European model. I do agree with the GFS model more, mainly because it's just going to keep streaming snowfall across this area here. So that's why you're going to see so much snowfall, is because there's 2 snowstorms and these are very linear. So you're going to see a lot of snowfall here. You're just going to continue to be feeding snow over here in this area, and you're also going to see a lot of ice. The GFS actually shows a quite realistic snowfall amounts, because on the edge of this it's quite distorted, and that's because of the ice. The ice is going to be so bad. So again, I do agree with the GFS model, but again, these models are not 100% correct. We don't know the exact details. This is just to get everyone prepared for this major winter storm. Let's go ahead and look at the NAM model, and then we're going to look at those ice accumulations. Here's the NAM model for these snow accumulations. As you can see, upwards of 20 inches of snowfall in these reddish colors. Those pinks, again, upwards of around 8 to 12 inches. In those blues, you're going to see upwards of around maybe 2 to 5 inches of snowfall. So NAM is agreeing a little bit with the GFS, maybe a little less widespread, but still a lot of snowfall for a lot of areas, and that also includes Chicago. We are just on the edge of that snowstorm there. Let's take a look at ice accumulations, and like I said last video, oh my goodness, this is a lot of ice. It may not look like a huge swath here, but this will be a devastating amount of ice that these models are agreeing with. 1 inch of ice is extremely devastating to power lines, road conditions. Pretty much everything outside will be ice cubes, just to put it into perspective. And this is reaching from all the way from Connecticut or Rhode Island to Texas. This is a huge ice storm that's going to be impacting here, and I don't think it's getting enough recognition that these people are going to see 1 inch of ice. I mean, I saw less than 1/10 of inch of ice a few weeks ago, and that was a pretty slippery roads. I can't imagine 1 inch of ice on the roadways. So these areas, again, prepare now. Now is the time to prepare, and you only have around let's see here, you only have around 2 days or so, or less than 2 days or so, to prepare. So again, and ice is already going to be impacting tomorrow for portions of these areas that's going to see that first snowstorm, and then that secondary snowstorm comes in with a devastating amount of ice. So again, prepare now. If you do live in these areas, there's going to be a lot of power outages. Your roadways are going to be impossible to drive on. You're going to have absolutely no friction whatsoever on the roadways, because 1 inch of ice is a extremely big amount of ice. It's going to be a very catastrophic power outages. There's not going to be power for some areas, probably for upwards of 4 days. So you're going to have to find some sort of heat if you do live without power for over 2 days or so. So definitely stay warm, stay safe out there. Share this with any friends or family that may live in these areas, or even the snowfall areas, as you're still going to see power outages from those areas. And people need to stay warm. It's winter time, so some people definitely need to find some sort of warmth if they're out of power for over 2 days. So definitely share this with any friends or family that may live in these areas, or any friends or family that may know other friends or family. So share this video out, share the social media, share it to everywhere pretty much. Get this extremely dangerous winter storm info out there, so let people know to prepare now. This is going to be quite the devastating winter storm, especially with ice. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. I will have an update tomorrow morning regarding this major winter storm. I will also have updates on the community tab of the channel and also social media, so definitely stay tuned. But again, as always, stay safe.